Hi y'all, this is Kirsten from Getting Dazzy with It. I am a student at heart, so I am constantly taking classes, and I take a lot of photography classes, and then I try to transfer what I learn in the photography classes over into Daz Studio and do it in Daz Studio using 3D characters, 3D lighting, 3D props, all of that. So right now I am taking a photography still life class from Joel Grimes. It's a still life masterclass. So he talks about setting up Rembrandt lighting, and I'm going to set it up as a preset in Daz Studio. So I'm going to start off with a sphere so I can kind of see just to get the lighting right. And I'm going to use my favorite go-to lighting, which is the Photography Masters. And it already has the usual suspects in portrait lighting. So I'm just going to kind of use that as a starting point and then go from there. So I'm going to use the Rembrandt short. And that sets it up. Rembrandt's lighting is normally at about a 45-degree angle when you're doing a portrait, but Joel Grimes does it at a 90-degree angle, which gives you a nice balance. So you start with light on one side, then you have a gradient, and it goes to the gray, and then it goes to the dark on the other side. So this is a little off. There's too much of the lighting coming across. So I need to kind of tweak this. Let's try it let's see if they do it at 45 degree. Let's try like 40 or 45 for the dome rotation. Let's try that and see. Okay. That kind of helps, but now I need to move the light a little bit so it's more straight up and down. Okay, there's the 45. And now let's move it so we can get it. So I'm going to rotate the x-axis. There we go. That's better. And so I have a nice gradient moving across from white to black. But that 45 is a little bit too much. Let's take it back to 40. That's much better. I like that better. So now I've got it set up. Now I want to tweak the intensity, because I think the intensity is a little too strong right now. So I'm going to take it down to 0.75. I always underlight in Daz because I do most of my lighting in Photoshop, because I've used Photoshop for 20 plus years, so I'm very comfortable in Photoshop, much more so than in Daz Studio with lighting. So I'm going to kind of do it a little bit darker so that I can then build up the light in Photoshop. But I like this. This has a nice gradient. You're going from the white through the gray to the black. And that's exactly what Joel Grimes says to do when you're setting up your lighting. So I'm going to go ahead and try that. And let's see, the tone mapping. I think I'm going to tweak the exposure value a little bit. Yeah, let's do that and see if I can't get it so it's still a little bit softer lighting, because I really want a soft lighting for this. There we go. That's perfect, at least for me. Most people probably want it. I could probably make it so it's more straight up and down, but this will work for me. This is what I need. I just need a preset that I can quickly come into Daz Studio, set up my props for a still life, and have the 90-degree Rembrandt lighting that's that soft gradient going from white to black, and do that. So let's go ahead and save this as a preset. Maybe. I don't know what, my computer's been acting up, so it's being a little slow right now. So there we go. And it went straight. It totally didn't capture. But you go under File, Save As, and then go down to Render Settings is what you want to go down to. And then you save that. And so I have that saved as a render setting. And my environment's good. Everything is set. But I also want to make one for the flip side where the light's coming from the right hand side instead, and not because right now it's, well, technically it's coming from the right hand side right now, but when you're looking at it, I want to have it come from the right hand side. That's not going to work. So let's see, 45 and 180 is 210, like 210. I don't think, no, let's set it back to the default. Sorry, I'm trying to do math and this at the same time, and that's not a good idea when it comes to me and math. I'm just not a mathematician. All right, let's go ahead and pick the Rembrandt short again, as I took the lighting back to the default so that I could then just start all over again to go to the other side. And let's see. Let's try it at the 210. Remember, because I was doing 180 from the other side and then adding 40 since I had it 40. And so do 210. That's actually pretty good. That actually worked out better than I thought. All right, so let's go back and choose the Rembrandt short. And then let's go do the dome rotation to a 210. And with these things, I often just fiddle around until I get it the way I want it. And I did not make this sphere smooth. That's why you're seeing the different colors and the squares, because it's not as smooth as it should be. Okay, now I have, this one is the same with the white going to the gradient of the gray and then to the black, which is what I want. So I'm gonna once again lower the HDR, the render, and so that it's lower like that, and then I'll go to tone mapping and change the exposure value, take that down, take it up a little bit to 13.5 there, and that's exactly what I want. And so now I have it on the other side. So now let's compare the two to make sure that they do look pretty close to each other, because I definitely want that to have them be similar. So there's the save as, and then I'm going down to the render settings, and then I'm going to save this one as still life setting 2. I apologize for my voice today. I have been having some issues with my voice and health stuff lately. Okay, so now we've got that saved. And then we're just going to compare the two. We've got sphere. Let's go to defaults. And let's try grabbing these presets and having them, seeing if they work properly. Okay, let's do the first one that I did. Yep, that works. Let's look at the second one. I don't know why the sphere is bigger in that one, but anyways. Yep, those are pretty much the same. This one's definitely smoother, but I'm not sure why it's smoother. But I think it'll work the same. I think it'll work just fine when I do I tend to go back and forth you all, anyone who's watched my videos knows that I have to check things like 50 million times before I decide that, okay, yeah, that'll work. So now let's go ahead and I want to try it on just a really quick basic still life. And so I'm going to find one of my bonsai little tree thingies. And so we're going to go to, I have these saved in, I have a favorites folder, and I'll probably show that sometime, but I have a favorites folder where I put products that I want to be able to find very quickly, and so it's right there. So this is in my favorite folder, and we're going to do the flowering cherry bonsai. This is a really cool product. And even it comes with a little table, bonsai table. And then let's add the little bonsai. You know, it's kind of cool. That's not where I'm going to put it right now, but it's kind of cool the way it is kind of flush with the table. So I might try that with one of the things, but right now I'm going to move it up so it's standing. Well, I got a little slider happy and took it up a little high. So let me bring it back down. So it's sitting right on the bonsai table. Isn't that a cool look? I love the soft light coming across. One thing I might do is soften the shadow, but I probably won't do that in this video. But and I want to switch the light over since it's growing in that direction. I want the light to be over in that direction. And the nice thing is I can tweak that render setting that I have. I can do it so like I can make it brighter in the map itself. I think I'll take it up to 2 maybe. Now let's try taking this down to make it brighter, which is a little counterintuitive, but that looks good. I like that because that's bringing some more light. But I love how it brings just the light on that one side and then it slowly darkens as you go across. That just to me is a really gentle, beautiful light that way. There we go. And that makes it brighter, and that's probably a little too bright, but it makes the point that I can tweak this render setting however I want. And that's what's important, is to get that pretty light that goes from the light to the dark going across the product or the still life. So thank you all for joining me today so that you could see a quick setup for still life lighting. Have a great day.